Good morning, guys, ladies. 606 Garage, Sunday morning. All right, so we're following up from yesterday. If y'all seen the video, if you did, thanks for watching. Now, if you watched any of my videos, you will realize I changed my mind like that. At the start of the video, I'm going to tell you you're going to be doing one thing. At the end of the video, I'm doing something else. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. So, that's where I'm at. My God, look at this big boy. Whew. Demon. I just need to finish cleaning up inside here and start drilling my holes, and then I'll weld this in. Now, here's why I'm not gonna weld these in today. All I need to do is drill the holes and get the bolts started. That's all I need to do. I'm not gonna weld them in today. I am gonna go ahead and take the console and the carpet out. There's a reason for that. If you noticed in the other video, my 5-speed's laying on the floor. I have to weld that T5 hump on that on the transmission tunnel. So I'm still going to have to take this carpet and console and everything out anyway. So I'm just going to weld it all together when I get it, I'm just going to do it all when I do, take the carpet out. Once I get it bolted in, I can still, put my rear end in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to drill it, get my bolts through there, get my, that way I can go ahead and get my upper control arms in place. But honestly, what I need to do right now, I need to go ahead and get started on my exhaust. So I need to put my exhaust pipes back on, get them rehung, and then I need to fit my tailpipes on here. And then once I do that, they can pretty much stay. Now I'm going to weld a hanger to my exhaust pipe so my exhaust pipes can stay. I still need to remove the, and honestly, they can stay. I can leave the mufflers hanging there actually and just remove the pipes out of the mufflers. We'll just do that. No point in any extra work. So, see, that's what I'm talking about. I changed my mind like that, how I'm going to do stuff. So, that sounds like a plan. Let me go ahead and get this exhaust hung back on this car because I've got pretty much everything I need to in the muffler area. I've got it where it needs to be. I'll get them put back on. Like I said, get them hung in place. Let's start fitting the tailpipes. I can't wait to see the tailpipes on this car. I think these cars look sweet with polished stainless steel tips coming out of the back of them. And then I actually might do the transmission, the dry shaft loop today. I mean, that's an easy, when I get the drill underneath the car, because 4 of my holes on these are actually 4. 12 of the holes in the back are 3/8. So I'm going to go ahead and drill my 8 3/8 holes in the floorboard for this and get this dry shaft loop in spot. So that's something else that's going to be done today. I'm 100% sure. And honestly, I think the rear end will go in today. The axles may not be in it, brakes not be on it. I mean, obviously, if the axles ain't, the brakes ain't going to be on it. But if they are, then we've had a good day. Now, I ordered my Competition Engineering drag shocks for the rear. I have a brand new set of Lakewood 9010s for the front. And I do have my caster and camber plates. And I have a set of coilovers. Not saying that's going to happen today because I would prefer to have some tubular A-arms if I'm going to go through that trouble. Now, That being said, if I go through that trouble, when I go to put this motor in this car, when I take that old one out, I'm going to put a tubular cross member on. I've got one hanging up here. I'm going to go ahead and put it in this car. I made my decision this morning. Tubular cross member, tubular A-arms, coilovers. We're going to do all that. So the 9010s, this car should be a decent track car. It should be a fun track car. So, especially when we get our motor in there. And like I said, F-cam, we are going with the GT40 heads. I'm final on it. This is a fairly decent motor. This is where it's going to land. So, that being said, let's get busy. That's enough talk. All right, let me show you a little bit of what I'm doing here. Now, I bought these used stainless steel Flowmaster tips, you know, how everybody cuts them off. Well, I've actually got a few new sets of the brand new ones, but I still bought those used, so at least I have a guide to go by. But you see how they cut them off. Well, I kind of cut that pipe to where it'll butt up against it, and I'm going to clean this up and weld this on. And I'm going to cut it off maybe a half an inch longer than the Flowmaster one, which they're both Flowmaster, but I'm like, you know, where they left it. These are the ones I am going to hang on the car, and I'll clean them up, and I'll probably paint them with some high temp paint, and I'll clean the stainless tips back up. So, I actually bought these for my little white notch back, and, you know, it's crazy. They had a deal. These went on clearance. Super Shops actually had them, and they were selling them for like, man, $115 a set. So I bought three for sure, because there's a set here and a set hanging over there. Okay, I think I had 3 sets for sure, because I bought a set for the coupe, I hope I got more than 3 sets. If not, I just realized I'm short. My 85 GT, the white coupe, and that maroon. I need a set for that. Alright, well, I guess I'll be on the hunt for another set of these. I'm short a set. Oh well. I should have bought 2 more sets. They didn't last very long. Alright, I'm going to grind this up and get ready to weld these on. Air pressure just kicked off. Alright, we got the exhaust pipes fixed, welded the way we wanted to. Hanging them right now. What I thought was going to be the easiest part of the job just might be the hardest part of the job. Let me show you. I mean, they're going to look okay. But, see, I thought they kind of contoured with the quarter panel, but I guess it's close. Now, I don't have them on the hanger yet, but I can't drop my pipe down low enough to get that to contour with the quarter panel the way I want to. So that's probably just how it's going to be. Pay no attention to my hole here. Gives it character. So the other side fits a little worse than this, but I'm going to go ahead and start working on spotting these hangers. I've got a bolt hole on this side. I don't on the other side because they never intended for this car to have dual exhaust. And I am going to do something different with the fuel line because it's pinched right between that exhaust pipe and the frame rail. I don't know, I may wrap it with some like insulation, fireproof insulation, or I may just completely remove and rerun the fuel line. We'll see. All right, I'm getting ready to start drilling on these upper Torx box, 1/2-inch drill bit. Now I'm gonna tell you, only drill bits to have are Cobalt bits. It's the only bits that's in this shop. And when I go buy bits, I buy Cobalt bits because I like to drill more in a couple holes, you know. But anyway, let's get underneath here and get started. Get you one of these lights. Now, you see those 2 holes right there? Those are the first ones we're gonna drill, and that's for those big 1/2-inch bolts. And I'm just going to run that 1/2-inch bit right into those through the floor, or through the, you know, the trunk area. Now I hit record again. All right, I'm not done nothing yet, but I promise you I'm gonna get me a tripod so I don't have to hold this thing, you know, a short one. All right, now I kind of left out an important part, but I got those 2 big holes drilled. Now this right here, you see this piece laying here? I cut that off to clear that right there. Now I usually trim a little bit off the top, but I'm not going to here. But you all have to bend and bend and bend to contour to fit this. And I mean, this stuff is thick. And it is, and I mean, honestly, this doesn't fit amazing, but it fits pretty dang good. Just have you know, a good vise. Make sure you turn it to where you don't flip your table over. And just start bending. You know, it's a lot of work. This is the worst part of it. It's the upper ones. It ain't hard to get the holes drilled through, because you're basically just opening up those 2 little holes underneath, and then you know, some sheet metal. But actually, I will probably end up going ahead and tacking these in place. Not a full weld up now. I'm not gonna weld them up completely, but I'm gonna tack them in place. And need to get the other side started. I'm gonna get the bolts through this. Yeah, this is it's a lot of work for sure. If you want to cheat a little bit, grab you a couple magnets, put on them holes. Let's feed the bolts through the bottom up to them magnets. All right, now it came with these aluminum, I guess you call it like an offset. Now I'm gonna make mine out of steel, so I can actually weld them to the plate. Whenever I draw it down, it'll kind of hold it in place. Now I know it's thinner, but it's steel. That's just a little thing that I do. Now a lot of them come with steel ones, because I put several in that are steel and I weld them right to the plates, but I'm making my own here. All right. I got these pretty well welded in. You see where I trimmed that one back so I could get a weld on that hump. And I'm gonna stitch it all the way up. But those are actually tight. And as you can see, it has not pulled it in. That's the benefit of welding this down solid. I mean, it's on tight. So now I put them on before I've tightened them down, it crushes them, and they still never feel like the bolts get tight. So this is one reason I feel like this is the best way to do this. Now I gotta get to the other side over here. All right, I'm gonna finish stitching this up. Small little seam to weld up across the bottom. All right, So I went with a little bit longer bolt because what they supplied me was about a 1/4 inch too short. So I went and got some grade 8 3/8 bolts with my favorite locking shoulder nuts. And I will dry these down, and once I get them all in place, I'm actually going to tack weld all these bolts so they don't move. Show you another little trick when you're working by yourself. See that bolt in there? It'll if you'll take just something to put a little wedge on it there, like a chisel works the best, or like a scraper. That'll hold it in place till you can start your nut, and it won't push back out on you. All right, that worked pretty good. As you can see, they draw it up quite a bit. All right, we're almost done with that one. All right, guys, so I closed the door because it's raining. It's 9:45. I'm done. I did get the upper and lower Torx box reinforcements in. My upper control arms are in, and I'm telling you, those are a nightmare to squeeze in there. I was going to start on my drive shaft loop, and I decided to paint those little pieces that I had made, so they're drying. But I'm going to call it a night. I almost started to stick that rear end in there, but I really want to finish and get my exhaust critiqued the way I want it. So I'm just calling it a Sunday. I feel like I did a lot today. I feel like I got a lot achieved. I went through a lot more pains putting these upper and lower Torx box reinforcements in. So, I'm happy with it. I mean, the car will never actually need them, but this car is solid. So if you want a good 11-second car, this car can handle it. It's solid. I mean, honestly, I've seen people run a lot faster without Torx box reinforcements. So I'm gonna tell you, that's asking for trouble. So, yeah, she's pretty solid now. The only other thing it needed to be a roll cage to go much faster than that. But other than that, I'm gonna go home and we'll take a shower. It looks like somebody beat me up. We'll follow up tomorrow.